All right, well, we can start the show whenever you guys are
let's
ready.
do this. Quicker,
All right.
the quicker the better. Quicker the better. Let's do this.
I'm counting us in 5. If you'd like to sponsor Still Got Game, give us a call at 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still Got Game, episode 436. Still Got Game is the official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Roger Hitman Roken.
I am Chris Selden, 007 Selden.
I'm James Yacht Dog Yaunt.
And we're back. And we have a show. No Tiff tonight, but she'll be back for our next episode. So it's just the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse here. So
literally the apocalypse.
The apocalypse.
Yes.
More to
it's
come.
Never been more appropriate than that. So we'll just hop right in the show proper. And if you're in here and chat on our live show, you want us to discuss something, drop it in chat, and we'll try to work in the show. Otherwise, we will hop right on over into the mailbag for feedback and questions from last week's show. And remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Leet Tony asks, I appreciate you trying to make an effort regarding the PlayStation hate after my comment last episode. I think Yont Dog made it 5 whole minutes before he started shitting all over it again. Baby steps, I guess.
Wow. Is this a guess or do we have actual numbers here? I'm thinking it's under 5 minutes. Like around like the 4 something mark, you know? Like I don't know if he went over the 5.
No, Yont was pretty quick to turn on this guy.
He was restrained. He held back for.
I tried.
It was painful watching.
I even offered him up a challenge too. You know, I said, "Prove me wrong."
Nope.
And then you throw hate my way. It's cool. It's cool.
Nope.
I love my viewers regardless. It's cool. It's cool.
He's the one that just wanted us all to get along.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't do it. No, that's Yont's fault. He'll try better tonight. Right, Yont?
Yeah.
Okay.
Better.
Right. Time. Starting the timer. Here we go. All right.
No promises.
Pine Cone comments. Good content from you and your team. I look forward to your next show.
Nice.
Cool.
Pretty concise.
We don't know where our next show will be, but sure.
Well, it'll be there.
We're starting in this new channel called Beam.
Oh yes,
That was funny.
No, you tell yourself that, you know. All right. Donna Death asks, Twitch just announced their new policy to permanently ban streamers guilty of sexual harassment or assault. While I think it's a welcome change, it feels like this should have happened years ago. What do you think? Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think we even talked about this back in the dawning of the women's movement, the Me Too movement. Like even like a couple of years ago when we were talking about it. Like they should have started this from the beginning. There shouldn't have been any, oh, they're too big of a celebrity, or oh no, it's not, proven or anything like that.
I feel like
I like
Twitch
the steps
has
that they're taking.
They've had egg on their face for a while with this, so it really almost seems like lip service coming this late. But either way, the outcome, the final result is the important thing, and it's to not let these people that are committing sexual harassment or even worse, assault on their platform and permanently banning them. So I think it's long overdue, and you're right, Donna Death, that it should have happened years and years ago. So
use up them sparks, man. They're going away soon.
Yep.
Yeah, I dumped on mine.
I put a bunch of RIPs in chat. Thought I'd throw some salt that way too.
Everybody's really helping out in the Mixer channel tonight. All right, and last but certainly not least, Altius asks, with certain industries reopening from the pandemic, how do you see the overall gaming landscape changing? We heard many stories of record usage and new gamers, but now that things are returning to semi-normal, will they continue to stay, play, and spend?
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, not to make it short, but yeah, they will.
I think it'll dip, but
Yeah,
they
if people aren't
definitely
home all the time,
they definitely gained. Like I know like a lot of my friends have gone back to work and we were all gaming and time to go back to work and like the gaming is like lessened but it's still there. Like there's some people that stopped gaming altogether and then came back because of the pandemic and now are still gaming after going back to work. So it's I don't know what to call it. Is a bell curve when it like still starts to go down, like
it goes up and then back down again.
Yeah.
I think if
But
they
it'll go
provide
longer though, right?
more games, if there was more games out here for, like you said,
Like
those
maybe
people
a new
that
console,
came back,
gaming console, maybe.
yeah, it might
Maybe.
bring a bunch of people back. So, and keep them there. So I don't know. I don't think this whole reopening thing is all going to be, I don't know. We might be short-lived. We don't know.
That's true too. Yes, but
so it might have a little dip, but maybe not a huge dip.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the term and the idea of the new normal, but we are definitely seeing an adjustment in how people do things. Even with the reopenings going on, you still have a lot of people that aren't going out. They're still restricting what they're doing. Yeah. So I think that I think this is going to be a good year for actual gaming for the gamers. And I don't think it might fall off a little bit, but I don't think it's going to fall off to the levels it was before. So,
yeah, I can see if people have to go to work, they're obviously not going to be. They had now the commute again. It's not like they can finish working and start gaming right away. Now, whether the spend stays up, like these people, we saw at the beginning of the pandemic, all these people that were buying Nintendo Switches and Animal Crossing, and I don't know if those people are going to the people that are going to repeat spend on more games if they're back at work now and they don't have all that time to dedicate. But I can't see them stopping playing altogether. I don't know. That's a good question, Altius. I don't think any of us have the answer.
I think
too many unknowns.
I think
right
it was
now.
good for gaming. It was a nice inject and enjoy it while it lasts.
Exactly. All right. Well, if any of you have awesome questions or feedback like these guys, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or emails at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over into what we're playing? Hit, what have you been playing this week?
Why'd you say it like that?
Because I know what you're going to say. Here we go, right?
I played a bunch of games actually this week. I had a stream earlier in the week where I went. A bunch of my friends went to bed, so I ended up pulling out like a whole bunch of games I hadn't played in a while. And
wow,
I had a good stream. And so I pulled out. We played Call of Duty: Modern Warfare, Warzone. We played Sea of Thieves. What else did I play? Werewolves Within, that VR game. Pulled out the VR headset.
Ooh,
I like how I can just pull out the VR headset and like everything's like I hadn't plugged that thing in like a couple months. But like got back into it. What else did I play this week? That's all I can think of right now. But it was Last of Us 2. Played a little bit more of that, and I remember. Detroit 2 Human. I got the PC version because of the Steam sale. I don't know if you guys know, but the Steam sale was on.
Yep.
Picked that up for a deal. NBA 2K20 ended up picking up on Steam sale. Loaded that up. It's funny how all these games work so much better on PC. Like, it's crazy.
Most people will still pick console for sports games.
I mean, yeah, but like I've seen the difference. It's like it should be played on a more high quality machine. But anyway, what else did I play? Surgeon Simulator.
Simulator.
Yeah. And that was my list.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Pretty healthy list.
Yeah.
Surgeon Simulator. That's a VR title.
The VR version. There's the regular version and the Steam version. VR version. Yeah. And that's about it. What about you guys? What you guys been playing?
So what are you playing?
Did a lot more of the Minecraft dungeons. Blasting through, trying to break into that 100 level mark. Got a little ways to go still, but I'm getting up there.
Good job.
Busted out Halo 5. I realized I hadn't completed the campaign, so I was like, I better go back and finish that shit.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I got a couple hours of Halo 5 in, played some of the multiplayer. It's kind of funny going back to Halo multiplayer after you've been playing like Warzone and stuff. It seems so slow and chunky.
No, it seems like you have more time to think about everything you're gonna do. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was kind of nice, the weapon spawn timers and stuff like that. It was nice getting into the good old playlist like that. So it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Then other than that, finishing up the campaign in Journey to a Savage Planet. And my Empires and Puzzles and Clash Royale. So
You're back playing Clash Royale again?
yeah, I started touching back into it. Some guys asked me to come back and play a couple games, so I jumped back into that. So I get in like 5 or 6 games a day. That's about it. So
nice. How about you, Jan?
that's about it.
I didn't play any games since the last time because I was on vacation. I was on a boat in the middle of a lake, enjoying my time, freedom from everything, electronics and everything. So no games for me. Sorry.
All right. That was easy then.
Yeah.
So I played some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Love that game. I'm a little sad that Shipment 24/7 is not in the rotation anymore, so I've got to play some shittier maps, but it is what it is.
Did you play some Warzone?
No, fuck no.
Not that you didn't play the 50v50?
No, I still haven't got to that yet. No.
The 50v50 is a lot of fun, actually. I
didn't enjoy it. I didn't actually enjoy it. No,
it's too much mayhem, man. It's way too much mayhem.
That's why I'm saying it might be right up Derek's
It might be
alley.
up my
That's
alley.
why I think. Yeah, I don't know why I
True.
haven't tried it.
Spawn, shoot, die, spawn, shoot, die, spawn, shoot, die.
I'll give
I mean,
it
it
a
was
try
okay,
this
but
Wednesday
like,
then. Yeah.
I can only take so much of grinding my forehead
Yeah.
against the ground.
Yeah, maybe I'll give it a shot on Wednesday. Also played a bunch of Jackbox games. Those are always good. Played a full variety of from all of the packs with the kids. We also pulled down a new game that's kind of like Jackbox games called Use Your Words, which is another one of those like everybody joins from their phone using a room code kind of game. It was pretty cheap on the Xbox and kind of good variety of shit in it, so it was fun. And then when I am away from the computer or the Xbox, I put in a little more Wizards Unite.
Why?
Phoned in One Catch a Day in Pokemon Go and a little bit of Toon Blast. So good variety of
Toon
games.
Blast I can see, but the Wizard Unite, like there's been no new content. Like it's all the same events over and over again.
It doesn't matter because you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to spend any money to play it.
Ugh.
See, this is
I bet I
exactly what
haven't
you said you
put
wanted.
them on just for the fun of it. But like other than that, like no.
Why am I playing it? Because I'm good at it.
If you don't like it, why are you playing it?
Because you're good at it.
Yeah.
Takes a lot to swipe up.
I'm glad that humor was not lost on you. All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop on over to the new releases? And this week, there's only one major new release, and it is Marvel's Iron Man VR out for the PSVR. And this looks pretty fucking awesome to the point where I almost dropped $350 today on a PlayStation VR to add to the, I know, but I don't want to because I know it's going to be fully compatible with the PlayStation 5, but the PlayStation 5 is also going to have the new PlayStation VR that's going to be better than this guy, but I want to play this game so bad in VR. Iron Man's my favorite guy in the MCU.
Is it Robert Downey Jr.? Because if it's not,
it's Robert Downey.
Let me tell you something.
Oh yeah,
They're a bunch of cheapos.
It's RDJ.
Okay? They're a bunch of cheapos.
Yeah, you're RDJ. That's the beauty of this is that you're playing RDJ. See, look at that. Download the demo, get a free Molten Lava thing. Tell me this doesn't look good, Hit. You wish this was on your VR shit.
Yeah, I wish this was on real VRs.
Yeah, but the problem is
not the PlayStation fake VR.
Okay, the problem is that this is from Sony Studios, so it's obviously going to be.
I don't give a fuck.
Wow,
how do they get the rights
they need
to
to
that,
be more
though?
like
That's
Microsoft.
my question.
Sony's got to keep their exclusivities. They got to keep that count going.
But how do they have an exclusivity with Iron Man?
Because probably they were like,
yeah,
hey,
what's it in for Marvel? Like, you guys want to launch this game on only one console?
Yeah,
I don't
know how that worked.
Maybe this is part of their deal with Spider-Man.
Maybe I don't know.
They're like, oh, well, if you want to keep Spider-Man in the MCU, we want to do an Iron Man VR game,
or just any
little
or any
handshake
game
there
with them. Yeah, maybe any Marvel character type game. I guess maybe I don't know.
That deal worked out pretty well where we got Spider-Man back. So you know how it happened, just be happy about it. Obviously, Hit's not happy because he wanted this on his fucking
This
VR,
will come out on the other stuff. It's just a matter of when.
Don't think
That's what I'm looking right now to
Dude,
see if it's
we're
got any
talking
kind
about
of timed exclusivity.
Horizon Zero Dawn, Detroit Becoming Human, Heavy Rain. Like, come on, like all these games are coming on PC. Like, it's a matter of when.
I guess, but I don't know. It's
interesting.
Don't worry, Selden. We'll wait. Give it a year, 2 years.
Give it 5 years, Selden.
Okay,
We'll be playing this.
Yeah,
we'll get around
a year, 2 years. We're talking about like a platform where like everybody else gets it. Like you can play Oculus games on Steam. You can play. You can play all these
Rift
guys
games
know.
I know.
The way this VR shit's gonna work is if we all play together.
Really, you need to stop making fun of PlayStation. I mean, seriously.
I'm not making fun of PlayStation. I'm making fun of Sony because they make a lot of questionable decisions.
Yeah,
questionable.
I tried. I couldn't do it.
I felt like it was pretty believable. Leet Tony, and there he did. He did it for you. He made it like at least 13 minutes. At least. Yeah. Someone should drop a timing for that.
Maybe they should drink. Our drinking buddies should drink for that.
Yeah, might as well.
How long it takes you to get to the point where you've ripped them?
Yeah. Add a drink in. Come on, whatever. All right. Well, like I said, I don't know. I want this game so bad, but I also don't want to buy a PlayStation VR that's going to be
obsolete.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might port it forward. You never know.
Yeah.
I would just hold off for the Star Wars VR game. Get the real VR.
Plus, why would you waste half of the money towards the next PS5? Like,
I know.
Because
they say the game's about
price, right?
They say the game's about 8 to 10 hours of play, which is actually pretty good for a VR title, I think. But
I mean, I think that's what they said about Half-Life. It was an 8-hour campaign.
But you've milked it over 2 months.
But I know people that have played that game for 20 hours before they beat it. It's like, what does 8 hours mean?
That's how long it took that one reviewer to beat it. So it's not an exact science. They're like, especially games where like the campaign is between 40 and 100 hours, and you're like, well, that's a pretty big range. Like, if you do no side quests, it's 40. You do all the side quests, it's 100. So
is that a Death Stranding game?
It's either a Death Stranding game or a Skyrim game. Those tend to be the big gaps of 40 to 100, 40 to 200. Some people are still milking hours into Skyrim in those games. So. All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop on over into gaming news? First story. Dr. Disrespect banned by Twitch forever and still not long enough.
I'm very curious why you went with this story first.
I know. I was wondering why that too.
Why
I was hoping
you
he
would
would
go
go
with
with
this story
the
first?
Mixer one first, but
yeah.
that's all right.
Why'd you go with the mix?
Then we can go into you pooping on. Well, everybody should.
So weird.
Oh, do you want to take a different one then, Hit?
No, it's too late. It's too late.
Yeah, just do the story. We'll do the next one.
So what this boils down to is that human refuse piece of shit Guy Beam, aka Dr. Disrespect, aka like wannabe fucking knockoff of every stereotype you've ever seen, super big human rights asshole, got banned from Twitch. We don't know why.
It's funny.
There's speculation.
All this hate, and you don't even know what the reason is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I hated this guy before. So I'm just glad that he's got a lifetime ban now. Fuck him. He was uninteresting and unfunny. He was doing the most stereotypical fucking fake persona that you could possibly do, and it's good to see him go.
Yeah, I unfollowed him way before his Twitch stunt that he did, where he was
when he filmed people in the bathroom at E3.
Yeah, not Twitch, but his stunt there. I unfollowed him way before that because his stuff got old. I mean, I know he's got his bunch of followers.
That shtick is old.
It got boring, and the fact that he I'll say it, he's not the greatest at gaming.
No.
He gets carried a lot by the people that he knows, and which is fine. I mean, he's got some skills. He's just, I'm sure he can beat me, but that's neither here nor there. It's not like I'm going to be playing against him anytime soon. But most of the time, I'm watching him like he's getting destroyed, and all the other buddies around him are, got tons of kills. So.
See,
yeah, I actually, like during this whole time frame about Mixer shutting down, I mean, I actually gained a little bit more respect back for him for a couple of days there because he was reaching out the olive branch to the guys that had built their communities and Mixer and everything like that. And he was like, "Hey, don't be harsh on these guys. It's their livelihood. They're losing it." Like, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, he's banned. I'm like, oh shit. Just when he's starting to build a little bit of credibility with me.
He built none with me. I know Hit loves him. He's probably got like a Guy Beam tattoo, but you do like him, right? Hit.
I mean,
he's an entertaining character.
As someone that streams, I recognize him as one of the best streamers. He has the entertainment aspect of the stream. He has the skill aspect of the stream. Like, even though you say he's not that good, he's still top tier player.
Yeah, he's still very engaging. He knows
with everyone in the industry. Everyone knows him. Like,
it's because he's been in the industry.
He's like top 3 for me in the streaming world. He's a really smart businessman. Really smart. Like, the shit that he's had planned all this time, like, it's very smart. Like, he had a lot of sponsorships. He had some big stuff coming up. He's just like Ninja to me. Like,
but I don't know what he did. But
and that's the other thing. Like, I don't want to judge this guy for something we have even no idea what he did.
Well, we know that years ago he cheated on his wife, so that makes him a scumbag right to begin with.
I mean, we don't even know that story, but like, even then,
no,
like,
we do know that story. He admitted to it. Like, yeah,
yeah, but we don't know all the we don't know all the details.
His wife even talked about it.
We don't even know how much the other girl got involved. Like, anyway, I don't even want to get into that. Like, whatever. That's his business. That's his family business. I'm not gonna like question you on why you got divorced with your wife. Like, everyone has their own business. Like, who cares? Like,
yeah.
If anything, it showed the human side that he came on stream after it happened. He, like, you saw his vulnerable side, which is a bad business move. But like,
100,000 viewers. Human. Oh, that was so bad.
Still shows that he's human. Like, I mean.
But his persona is such an asshole persona that he makes himself unlikable.
But that's his character. And that's
I
why
understand.
He's on the top of the game. He has entertainment and he has skill. Shroud only has skill. He's like one of the best gamers. He's boring as hell to watch. Ninja, you could say he's entertaining and he has skill, kind of like Dr. Disrespect. I don't like his form of entertainment, but I'm not going to go shit on him like how you are about Dr. Disrespect.
I like Ninja so much better than Dr. Shit Respect.
Yeah, but I'm using the same example. Like, I don't like his shtick. I don't like Ninja's shtick. But I'm also not going to shit on him. And that's the difference between you and me. Like, if I don't like Red Dead, it's like I'm not gonna talk shit about it. But you want to go back in time and fucking kill its family. Like you stole my wallet or something.
It's okay. You like old man streamers, and I like the young cool guy streamers.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the next story. You're getting a little weird there, Derek.
Next story.
Can we go with the one that should have been number 1?
Take it, Hit, go.
There you go.
Microsoft is, I don't know why I have to do this. Microsoft is shutting down Mixer and partnering with Facebook Gaming. Now, this huge announcement came out, last Monday? Was it Monday?
Yeah, and I was on vacation.
Yeah.
And, basically, they're closing shop. July 22nd is the last day. They're moving all their partners over to Facebook Gaming in a partnership with Facebook.
Not all of them. Whoever wants to go.
Yeah.
Well,
pretty much.
Anyone as a partner has an in to Facebook Gaming. Pretty much caught everyone off guard. Everything that these streamers I work for, like, down the drain.
I don't know. I've seen some of them. I'm Mixer streamer going here now at Twitch. I've seen a lot of them they're
Yeah, but it's still
people
they're
moved over
starting
there.
from zero and have to work their way up, right? Like
Are
the
they
the
though?
bigger guys are gonna not have as much problems, but like like the lower to mid tier streamers that like grinded for like 2-3 years to get partnership, and then they go over and it's like they're not as well known and
No, the
right.
people you mean the people that took advantage of Mixer. Like we know some people like that got really big on Mixer really early on, and they're going to have trouble landing anywhere else.
Right. Sure. I don't know who specifically you're talking about, but yeah.
Um,
Sure.
like
No,
Let's not name names.
let's not name
names.
names.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't have
yeah,
to
Let's not name
yeah,
names.
yeah, we're
No,
doing
no,
good
no.
there. We're
Let's
doing
not do
good
that.
there. Yeah.
we're not going to mention anyone.
This is just we all saw it coming, to be honest with you. We didn't know it would be sold to Facebook Gaming, but we all kind of saw this unfortunately coming because Mixer was a great platform. It just didn't have the traffic. I
And-
mean, if it could either gain some of the traffic from Twitch, it would have been fine. But it even bringing all the big name people over here, they didn't make enough moves to
Yeah,
sustain
to-
it
to
or
bring-
even keep it going. Like, and
there were some
unfortunately,
misses
this is
there.
where
Yeah.
I'm pooping on Microsoft because
Yeah,
they
well.
they do this all the time with some of their crap. They do great in some aspects, and in other aspects, they're like, "We'll just do it because we want to," and then they just, "That didn't work. Let's move on." Google does the same thing too.
No,
so
Google
I'm not
does
gonna-
too, but yeah,
Yeah.
they missed out on some like they
Yeah.
have Xbox Live, they have Windows. Anytime you went to the dashboard, there should have been some little Mixer window there, fucking sucking you in with some. You go over and you're looking at some game in your tiles. Boom, there should be some Mixer
It should
streamer.
have
The most popular,
autoplayed whatever was going on. So
Yeah, there's so many missed opportunities there. So
Let's give the story a little bit more context, though. Like, there's
go ahead.
still a bit more to the story. So, one of their main reasonings for doing this is because they wanted they weren't getting enough viewers on Mixer, and they want to have the xCloud integration set up with people that are actually going to use it and watch it. So they thought that Facebook of all of them would be the best option to help them get this xCloud thing up and running. I'm not really sure what that means, but
Do
sure.
we know if we know if FTL is if they're because it would seem
No,
like a
they're-
waste to if that
FTL
was
is-
just going to go away.
FTL is staying with Microsoft, and they're going to be moving over to their Microsoft Meetings app. That they're going to try to keep that
they're
going
keeping
on.
the patent on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then the last big part about this story is that streamers Ninja and Shroud end up getting huge buyout deals from Microsoft in the range of 30 to 10 million respectively. Now we don't really
I think that
know
was
this
probably
That
in
was-
their contracts.
that
Those
was their
probably weren't
original
buyouts.
contract,
It's
yeah.
Probably in the
so
original
this is
contract.
apparently from what I saw or whatever, it was reported that Facebook Gaming tried to rash out a new deal with them, and they offered supposedly double what they were getting with Mixer, and they declined and went out for the buyout option through Microsoft. And apparently they got 30 and 10
Respectively.
yeah, respectively.
We'll
That's the-
see.
that's the
They're not
biggest-
going to not be streaming. They'll figure
Yeah,
something's
so-
coming soon. I don't know
So
if
with this
other parts
deal, they're
of it.
now out of their contracts. They're now
Yeah.
able to go anywhere they want. Possibly, Ninja could go back to Twitch, and then he just made 30 mil, whatever he made from going over.
I don't think he will. I honestly don't think he would go to Twitch after
We're
what happened.
just saying, like he can. Go,
I know. I'm
like
just
he
saying.
got money for
I
going
don't think
there.
he
He
will.
got money for leaving, and now he can go wherever he wants to make more money wherever.
Do you remember how petty Twitch was when he was leaving, where they took his
Yeah.
channel and they
I
did
don't-
all that
there's-
shit to it? And
I think
Yeah.
there's like a
Like porn run.
0.1% chance he goes back over there. So
I mean, it's really there's so many rumors going on about that, but like that's not the story. Like the story is that this is what happened to them, and
Yep.
we're
You know
sad
what?
for Mixer. I know.
Yeah,
I
we
know,
love Mixer.
Yeah.
I'm
it's-
actually-
It's true. Like it's just there weren't enough viewers. They weren't. I think there was a stat that came out late last year that showed the growth of all the sites, and they were at 0.1, where everyone else like Facebook.
and that
Facebook was
included
at
the
30.
pandemic boost too.
Yeah, like
yeah,
it
which was bad.
I kind of thought this was going over. Like I had switched to Twitch like ages ago, but like you can see the little things like them getting rid of the Mixer app on Xbox and having it on the dashboard, and it's just all these like little. why they like seem to be pulling back.
Yeah.
I just don't know why they got Ninja and Shroud, because it just seems like they wasted so much money on those two guys.
They can afford it.
I mean, there's other things going on behind the scenes on this also, because there was a couple other stories that were coming out over the weekend with how the whole Mixer division was being run, and how the person that was in charge of it, how they treated the employees.
Yeah, but I don't think that had anything to do with the
and
closure.
how they looked at the streamers and how they were,
That could be its own story.
Yeah,
that's
that's what I'm looking forward to, some podcaster out there doing an in-depth like business analysis of why, and take a step-by-step how Mixer failed.
Give it 5 years, somebody will do that.
You know what? I'll give them credit though. That Mixer team and whatever happened at Microsoft, like if you look at our friend Steven Spahn from Able Gamers, he's the one that was the proponent of the accessible controller and everything else. He's got some disability, and he was brought in by Mixer as their big, like, we're going to showcase this to say, you're not the only one that games like this or whatever, and they made sure that they took and got him a new deal signed over with Facebook Gaming, and he's moving over there and everything else. So it's at least they did right by the people that they had laid off as part of this whole thing, because you don't think of the talent as getting laid off, but that's really what happened. Is everybody got laid off, whether it was employees for Mixer or the talent that worked for them as well. So
do you think the people that worked for Mixer, they didn't wrap them into something else?
I wouldn't think so. I think that's, for some of them, there's probably ways that you can reroute them throughout Microsoft, like to the teams.
Yeah, if they were working on the code for the streaming, and they can move some of them over to Teams.
But there's a lot of overhead in that. Anytime you went to any major convention, you went to the Mixer booth, you could see the overhead, and it was all those guys that did jack shit, and they were only there to promote it. So,
I mean, Mixer did a lot of things wrong, like cheap things, like the 24/7 streams, like watch this and earn blah blah blah, or their biggest problem was the music. Their number one channel was a 24/7 music channel.
Yeah, one of their biggest problem was the follow crap that was going on too.
Yeah, follow.
Made a lot of. It was just a bunch of people following each other.
Earn this inside a game, like all these like little,
like in Forza, you mean?
Yeah, like all these like little cheap things that they were doing to try to get their numbers to be higher. They didn't really help them. They're all empty. Like everyone was just taking advantage of it.
But Twitch does all those drops and stuff like that. They just weren't taking advantage of the games that they had. They weren't taking advantage of new games. They weren't updating the platform at all. They just weren't doing anything. It was just staying stable. And they just decided, well, it's another Zune. Let's just get rid of it.
Cut bait and run. Yeah. So, all right. Next story.
Well, I think we hinted at this already. I'll take this one. At least introduce it, and we can go from it. Sexual abuse allegations rock the gaming industry again. Big movement over the last week and a half, where a lot of streamers came out with allegations against other streamers and individuals in the industry about misdeeds and sexual.
A wide range, everything from like sexual harassment through actual physical assault and rape. So
I mean, a lot of cringe worthy stories that came out on Twitter, and just reading through them, and you just feel the pain for these people and what they've had to put up with, and how they've been pushed to the side and not acknowledged. So I applaud the people that came out. I know it's tough for individuals to come out, especially in today's world where it's a lot of people just dismiss it and everything like that. Came out at a really difficult time in our nation. But
this is probably the reason why this is successful right now, is because it did come out at this time. This is when people, I feel like as a nation, we are the most accepting
sick and tired of what's going on,
of seeing what's wrong with things and wanting things to change. And I know that there's been a whole bunch of people that have been working to collect these stories from the victims and everything else, and put together like these concise lists. And I will tell you right off the bat that Tiff and I spent 2 whole days going through this list, and and we know, well, knew, I'd say anywhere between 5 and 15 of the bad people. 14 of them being men, one being a woman, which isn't, you realize that it goes both ways. And I've just unfollowed so many people and people that are blindly doing these things. And it's not cancel culture. It's just, we've had enough of making excuses for people like, oh, that's just John or whatever. Like, no, John's he's a sexual predator, or he's this or he's that. Like, it's time to stand up. It's time to draw a line in the sand and say, you know what? You don't deserve the spoils that you've got, because you've left this wake of hurt and pain in your wake. Like, it's not right. So I personally am like, we saw this happen or start to happen during the Gamergate time, and then everything fell apart because it turned into something entirely different, and then it became all this doxing and everything else. Now the second wave came at the right time, post Me Too, in the middle of a pandemic, right after we saw all the Black Lives Matter stuff going on, and people that were traditionally unwilling to listen to someone else's opinion. Everybody is listening to everybody, and everybody just wants things to be better. And I think that this is the time that the gaming industry is doing a long overdue cleanup. And we've seen this for years and years. And I wouldn't say we've covered up for people, but we've known people that seem slimy and we didn't say anything, but we didn't know all these stories that went behind it. They just seemed like sketchy, slimy people. So I, for one, am glad with everything that's going on right now. I feel bad for everyone, but I'm glad that people are finally getting their comeuppance. So. Sorry, I took over and soliloquied there for a little bit, but I think this is important, what's happening. So.
Yeah, no, definitely. This is awkward.
Yeah, I would say we all know someone that's a victim, and we probably also all know someone that's a victimizer, and know who your friends are, and know.
Yeah, it was one person I was following. I was like, ooh.
Yeah,
you're that guy. Well,
yeah.
Yeah, but you were following them on social media. You didn't actually know what type of person they were.
So. No, that's what I mean. Like, you have a picture of them in your head, right? And then you're like,
See, for me, it was a little even worse, because these are people that Tiff and I know. We've gone to dinner with, we've gone to parties with,
yeah, but that was all in a stage setting there, Smooth. It's different. You weren't going to their house and having dinner. You weren't meeting their other friends outside the industry. You weren't hanging out with them on a daily basis. Like, it would be a different story if that was the case. You going to a convention one time a year, they're putting on a show, regardless of what you think. They're putting on a show for dinner or parties or whatever, so you're not going to see some of that stuff, because a lot of that stuff happens behind the scenes. So
well, a lot of this stuff, what we learned after the fact, is it happens at these conventions. Like,
I'm sure. Yeah.
That's where these stories came from, is people went out for innocuous dinners and then shit happened, or people invited people to things that were not the things that they said they were inviting them to. And I for one am glad that this is coming out, and people are paying the piper at this point. So,
and I'm glad the industry is paying attention to them this time and not just blowing it off and hiding it. Mm-hmm. The fallout is what really needs to happen, and healing in the industry needs to happen. So,
are we naming names?
No.
If you want to go online, there's plenty of places where you can see the names and know who to unfollow. But and they range from no-name fucking streamers to people that are
Twitch employees,
Ubisoft employees, you name it.
Pretty long list.
Yeah. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I know the initial thing started out with streamers, and then the rest of the gaming industry was like, this happens in the real industry too, and brought all that in as well. And
well, I mean, it happens at all the other expos and conventions that, they had a huge problem for the longest time with cosplay players, like
you're
getting harassed about it, and that stuff happening. So,
or people taking photos and getting handsy, or
So I know they tried to cut down on a lot of that at those conventions, but the gaming convention, this has probably been slid over too long. So
it's well overdue.
It'd be nice to see this movement move into other entertainment industries also, and
we saw it go through Hollywood back with Harvey Weinstein, the Me Too movement. So it's just a matter of time before we trickle this through. I know that I heard
wrestling got hit too at the same time.
Oh yeah, they did.
Comics as well, I've heard.
I mean, the next one, it's got to be sports or music industry or something like that that's going to get hit hard, I think, too. So,
yep. Yeah, pay the piper, fuck faces. All right. And now that our friends got to have a drink,
don't be an
there.
asshole.
Yep, they got to have 2 drinks right there. So, seeing we helped them out. Yep, 2 for Tuesday, but it's Monday.
Should I just say poopy so they can take 3 drinks?
There you go.
Yachts. Well,
all right, let's make it a little lighter here, guys.
All right, next story.
All right, I'll take this one. The rumored cheaper Xbox Series X actually has the same CPU. Report says. I know you get some of you have read the story and some of you haven't. So, what do you think about this before we actually deep dive into the story?
I haven't actually read this.
Why don't we combine these 2 stories then?
Okay.
So that we can talk. Yeah. So you want to just read the other headline and then we can.
Sorry, I have
that's the second story from the top.
Yeah. So then the other story is Xbox Series X leaks points to the world of pain for Sony. So I actually didn't get to the second story yet, but yeah. So,
so you haven't read this story? This is the story that spawned the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I actually read the other one first because I was scrolling through from bottom to top, so I didn't actually get to that one yet. So, I don't know. I just think it's fantastic what the consoles are going to be doing. Both consoles. I'm getting both pat on the back because the fact that Sony is thinking about what they're doing next, their next moves, and trying to one up Microsoft by bringing out a digital version. It's funny all the things I see of people making fun of the designs of the consoles now. A lot of them are Destiny characters. That was the funniest ones I've seen lately. They're using the Destiny helmets, look like the kind of looks like the console. It was funny. But anyways, back to the story. So, I think I applaud that they're trying to actually. This is good for all of us. They're trying to one up each other.
Cost thing.
And if this is, this is just a rumor. If this is true, that just means their bigger version is probably going to be clocked, and their lower end version is going to be unclocked. So that's the only difference between the two. So you might be able to hack the smaller one and clock it.
Well, I don't know about that, but we did hear like the difference in performance. Like one was 11 teraflops and the other was 4 or something absurd like that. But but then that other story about Sony's World of Pain was that Microsoft was planning on coming in with the rumors from some insider who's been fairly good at this was saying that they were pricing the 2 Sonys at $600 and $500 respectively. And then they were saying that Microsoft was coming over the top with a $500, a $400, and a $200. So now if that $200 console, which is the one you see in the picture that doesn't have any disk drive, is
legit, they've won.
It's legit and has the same fucking CPU. This is game over, man.
Yeah. So, okay. So with that being questioned, okay. So we think that this smaller one is the 200 version without the disk drive.
I would guess.
What's the $400 and $500 version? Why would they come out with 3 different versions?
Maybe they have a Series X without a drive and a Series X with a drive.
And then this is the Series S. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Series S has no drive at all, and then you have a Series X with and without a drive.
When's their event? It's coming up soon, isn't it? The next
that's July. That's only
going to be games, first party games. So I guarantee you that Sony, I bet you, and we talked about it last show, I bet you the execs were like, we cannot put out a diskless unit. We can't. But then they're like, dude, we have to compete with Microsoft somehow with the prices that we're hearing.
And then Microsoft was like, case it, bitches, and came over the top with a $200 price point. Like,
I mean, Yeah, but we don't know that yet.
A six console launch in this house. Like we can replace them all for peanuts.
Yeah, but I know that's awesome. I would gladly buy a $200 console, the smaller ones, and have a couple of extra one of those, throughout the house.
Yeah, get a couple of the big boys, and then fill the rest of the house with the 2 hundos. Boom.
No way, you don't see. Yeah,
no way. It's $200, guys. Come on, man. You guys are dreaming.
It's only because of your PC Master Race that you don't understand.
No. Look at the current price of the Xbox One. It's not even $200.
They can take the fucking hit. They're Microsoft. We saw they just pissed away $30 million to Ninja for nothing.
I don't see them selling hardware for $200.
Hardware's not okay. So first of all, Hit that hardware is not in the console gaming is not what's making their world.
I agree.
Making their world is accessories.
I agree. It's the software. Games. Yeah, I get all that.
It's not software. It's the subscription that Microsoft is banking on.
Yeah,
give a shit less about the console or the software. Yeah. They're going subscription.
If they could cheaper, there's no way.
Think about it. If they go these $200 consoles and it hits for Christmas time, and they get 1 million extra people to come back over from PlayStation because their parents are willing to buy the $200 console, then the $400 console.
This is a year where
and they get a subscription, Xbox Live subscription for a year. Yeah. They just made their money.
3, 4, and 5 is more believable than 2, 4, and 5.
Either way, this is a year where a lot of people did not have jobs. A lot of people were.
Yeah, no, I know. Don't get me wrong. I like this idea. I don't think the price point's right. That's anything. I just don't think it's 200.
Well, if it's 2 hundo, then we're probably getting 6 on launch day. Not just the 2. We'll get 2 of the good ones and then 4 of the shitty ones.
Now look at it this way, Hit. Also, there's so many people out there that said, well, if I can play a game on my PC and not have to buy a console, why would I buy a console? You throw a $200 unit out there, what do you think a lot of those PC gamers will be like? I'll drop $200 on it. I'll throw it out on the TV.
That costs less than a new video card hit.
I mean, you say that this thing has the same CPU, but what GPU does it have in it? Like, it's not just.
It has that custom AMD GPU that's on all of them.
Exact same one as the big boy.
It's gotta be.
You're assuming.
We don't know.
The only thing that's reported is the CPU. It's not the GPU.
I don't think. Actually, no. The little boy, I think they said is going to be the 1080p console and 1080p. And what's your shitty PC resolution? What's your shitty PC resolution?
Miss out of the equation here.
Well, most of the real world that aren't playing on fucking PC Master Race care about 4K. It's you guys.
It has nothing to do with PC Master Race. It has to do with the next evolution in gaming.
Okay,
and gaming is going.
You're
4K,
1440p,
and that's what that's the message that they've been relaying. To us. It's not it's not just Microsoft, Sony. It's all the game publishers. They're all pushing 4K.
Yeah,
like this is
you're pushing
1440p
on people,
and 4K TVs are just extremely cheap. I just bought 2 of them for like $250 each.
Like that's where this is going. This is where
you weren't buying quality TV there.
No, but there's still 4K. They're going to the kids.
You get what you pay for. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the story here is, if you look in our house, we only have 2 giant 4K TVs. The rest are all 1080p. So why not drop a 1080p cheap $200 console on those bad boys, right?
Sure, if you're looking for it to be a secondary or third or not your
and it will
device,
be, but you got to think of
how many people are like, again, you are thinking of yourself as someone that is the majority.
Parents, I'm a parent. I would buy my kids a
line up and get 8
console.
Xboxes on launch day, Derek.
Okay, I believe you. I understand. I am not the normal.
But that's how you're seeing it. Like the average buyer is not going to go out and buy multiple devices on launch day. And then
listening to me right now.
Go back to what Selden's been saying. How are they going to fucking give us enough supply for all this? Like, you know what I mean? Like.
Oh, you gave Selden credence in this story? Wow, that's like a first.
But it's true. We don't know. There's so much still left unknown. Like, we still don't know nothing has changed in the last 6 months. We still don't know what games they're gonna play, how they look like. We don't know pricing. We don't know release date. Nothing has changed, and we're so easy to just jump on all this info that we're getting.
When are we supposed to find out? When do you think we're gonna find out on all this?
Who knows?
When do you think all the stuff is?
September. I said they could wait 2 weeks before launch.
Yeah, that's wrong.
That's the
there's no way
minimum.
There's no way they're gonna do
bare minimum.
I think we're gonna get all these things within the next month or so.
I'm telling you, at the end of July, we're gonna get all this.
How much after the July event?
maybe immediately after. Like everybody's all like, "Fucking Halo, wait for it." They're like pre-order now. Yeah, like they dropped the pre-order link right after.
That's what I'm saying.
I also don't think there's going to be another box launching. Like all their promotional stuff has led to they're only launching one SKU this fall. Same with Sony. All they've been messaging to us is they're launching with 2 SKUs, and here's how they look. I just don't see them adding another console to like, oh yeah, by the way, here's another thing that we're doing. Like, I don't see them doing that. They would have already done it by now.
So Sony, first off, did not come out and say they were doing 2 consoles until the last minute when they did their announcement. Second off, Microsoft, there's a reason why they trademarked Xbox Series so that they could drop the X and the S in there.
Oh yeah, and all the other ones are coming out after. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they'll come out at the same time.
Yeah, me too.
I don't. Put me down on that one. I don't think it comes out on launch day.
What?
The $200 is a little hard to swallow. I think it might be more $300, but still, like I was trying to say to you, Hit, like as a father that has kids who would want to play games for Christmas, this is not a loss leader for them. If they can slam dunk and bring all those kids over for $200 for a console that, they might lose $50 to $100 on the console, but if they can bring them over there and get the Xbox Live and all the other crap they buy and buy more games from them,
totally makes sense. I totally agree. I'm not
against
it.
Kids' rooms usually have 1080p TVs
I'm not against any of those points.
Especially like if Johnny and Jimmy both want it, and like mom and dad or Christmas going like, okay, I'll get one for each of them, so they don't fight over the fucking things.
No.
Yep.
Both of those stats that you're saying are both minority stats. Like I'm sorry. The person that can afford 8 consoles on launch day, and the dad that wants to buy the family multiple devices. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not slight against you two, but the majority of the gamers aren't going to do that. The majority of gamers
but you weren't listening to me. I wasn't talking about. I wasn't talking about. I'm talking about parents in general.
No,
be able to drop $200 on a console during Christmas time
is a minority.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it
is. It's not a minority.
The majority buyer.
Look at Fortnite for goodness sakes. Fortnite for goodness sakes. Kids are still dropping crappy V-Bucks on that all the time. If there's a $200 console for parents to buy for their kids, they will buy it.
Instead of a $500 console?
The main demographic for Xbox is the 25-year-old male gamer. That is the main demographic. Dude, come on, man. I get that you guys are in that demo. I get it. But we're not the majority. We are not the majority. That's my point. Like, we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Definitely not the
people
majority.
Have lost their jobs. There's a huge number of unemployment.
But
there's no way that people are going to go out and buy multiple devices on launch day. I don't care.
I'm not saying multiple devices. I'm saying they might pre-order it for the $200 console.
Derek.
For Christmas.
He's the other. You're actually kind of both, technically.
I feel like we're all 4 in different demos here. Like, we all treat this differently.
Yeah.
So
I admit it. Like when I saw that they're possible $200 console, I said to my kids, I'm like, we're gonna get 3 consoles on launch if there's a $200 console out there.
And
I moved into Derek's world.
Selden, what would you normally buy on launch day? How many consoles would you buy?
I would buy 1.
Yeah, and I'm the same demographic. I would only buy 1 on launch day.
But you guys are both dads. You're in the dad demographic with kid gamers. That's your demo.
Wow. No, our demo is we're adult gamers.
You are adult gamers that have children that are gamers. That is a demo.
Yeah, my kids are not 25, so if I'm going to buy them a console,
but they're gamers.
You would spend
that's your demo.
All right, how much do you think a parent spends on a kid on Christmas across all of their gifts? Like, if you take one of those gifts and replace it with a $200 Xbox,
slam dunk. Slam dunk.
Yeah, no, I get all these points. It's like you guys are just viewing it as if you were the majority, and you're not. You're the minority.
Gamers keep aging up. The average age of gamers now is 37. Every year it ages up more because we get older and older.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
But you got to, even if it's 200 or 300, once again, you got to look at the mom and the pop or the grandma and the grandpa that want to buy their kid or their grandkid something. They look on the shelf and they
pick the cheapest one.
They see a PlayStation 5 for $550. They see a Xbox Series X for $500. And then they see a Series S for $250 or $300. They're going $250, $300. Because they don't give a shit.
Easily.
Yeah. So it's a baller move by Microsoft if they do release a Series S at a phenomenally lower price.
Yeah, if this is true, this will be a slam dunk.
It's a game changer. Yep.
And if Microsoft screws this up and they price at or higher than PlayStation,
it's a game changer.
It's done for Microsoft.
It's still a game changer.
Yeah, it's a different kind.
Change the game. It's just different.
Yeah.
So Microsoft needs to play their cards right. I think they're doing well. I'm leaning more towards hit that we won't see a price until very late in the cycle because
people need to pre-order.
They don't give a shit about. They're producing as many units as they can right now with the limited supply and the workforce. They're pumping out as many units as they want and as they can. They're not worried about overstocking the shelves at this point on this generation. They're not going to have consoles sitting on the shelves with how the world industry is going.
I think that's exactly why the S exists, because you don't need to worry about a third-party Blu-ray supplier. You don't need to worry about paying Sony for each and every Blu-ray drive you put in your fucking console. And that thing, you don't need to worry about your high-end Radeon fucking GPU. You can use the lower-end one that does 1080p, 60 or whatever. And you crank that second manufacturing line you have running 24/7, just popping these things out, like shitting them out so that you can just sell as many of them as possible at launch. I think
that's why PlayStation's introducing the discless one also, because they got to get as many units out as they can.
Yeah, but theirs is huge and absurd looking, and it's still going to cost a lot because they don't have an S version. Theirs is just a discless version. That's where you have the breakdown. That's why their price difference is like Microsoft's price difference between those top two units. It's you take out the price of a Blu-ray drive and you take out the licensing that you have to pay to Sony every time you put a Blu-ray drive in your product. Like that was the ultimate fuck you that's been going on through this whole thing. As soon as HD DVD lost, is that every time Microsoft sold a console, Sony was making a little money off it. Like,
that little sticker costed them a lot.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
So you really think that on launch day is going to be 3 SKUs?
Absolutely.
Why not? Why not?
We've seen 2 SKUs on launch day so many times.
500 and 200. There'll be 2 SKUs. It'll be 500 and 200.
Maybe leave out the discless one with the X and just do the discless S. Yeah.
I don't think there'll be.
You're gonna have the Cyberpunk.
I don't think there'll be 3 SKUs. I think there'll be 1 SKU, and mainly because they have not communicated that there are multiple SKUs.
Why would they? Sony didn't either.
Sony at the same step that Microsoft took, and they announced 2 SKUs. So
Microsoft hasn't made that announcement yet. They've
had the thing where they show you this is what this thing looks like. Here's the controller.
But that's not a SKU. That's just getting you excited.
That's a SKU. That's the exact same thing that Sony did, except they showed us 2.
No,
they haven't communicated anything other than one console.
No, it's like seeing that trailer that you're going to see the movie for the next 2 years from now that doesn't have a launch date. It just says coming 2023. Yeah. You know, like you don't know. Like
you just
when it's coming out.
Yeah.
There's no SKU on it. There's nothing. That's what Microsoft's doing right now. Their console has you're just getting the hype out there.
The longer that they don't go with a price and with a date, the more multiple SKU is out the window. Like, this is bad practice. This is bad business practice. You have to prepare these people for the inevitability that there's going to be multiple SKUs, and they've done nothing.
If you think it's going to be a couple weeks before the actual
I don't think that.
launch,
but I just think that from what they've communicated, like, they don't have much time to release multiple SKUs if they're going to. Like, but they haven't communicated none of that to us.
But they also haven't started taking any pre-orders yet. So that means you literally have all the same amount of time.
They had the event where they show you the console.
That was the teaser trailer. We're about to get the real trailer.
Sony did the exact same thing.
No, Sony did that stupid thing where they gave us the teaser where they're like, SSDs are fast. Oh, I love SSDs.
Games, and then they ended off with like, here, this is how it looks.
No, that was the second event. The first event was all about SSDs, remember?
That was not a real event. That was a
that was-
scientific thing, man.
No.
It was a
That was
scientific
like
thing.
fucking. That was like Bill Nye the Science Guy, and we're
No,
explaining
that was
how
that was their
works.
first event, and that's what
Yeah.
Microsoft's first one was when they're like, "Here's the refrigerator." Boom! Like that
They
was.
both are the exact same step. They both have two events. They
Nope.
both ended the second event with how it looks and how many
Nope.
SKUs they have. I don't.
We have
see
not
them
had our second
launching-
Microsoft
That's just
event
my
yet.
opinion. I don't think they're going to launch basically on the fact that they've only communicated one SKU.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to draw a line in the sand and come back on this
Sure.
and figure out who was right and who was wrong. But
Sure.
I think there's enough leaks out there.
I can admit
Even
that I
when they
was
did
wrong
the
on
Xbox
console price.
360, they showed us how many SKUs they were having on launch day. Like,
Yeah, but that was like
but that
that
was-
was the actual launch event for the console.
yeah, that was
wasn't.
the E3 launch. We don't have an E3 launch. Why does Yelp
Yeah.
look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame over
It's because my chair.
there? Oh, okay.
I have a black shirt on my chair.
That's wise choice.
It's
Wise.
getting darker in here too.
All right. Next story. I'll take one because I thought this was pretty fucked up. And Hit is a Mac guy. iOS apps will run natively on ARM-powered Macs. Semi-gaming, semi-not, because now all of a sudden Macs no longer became gaming PCs. You can't multi-boot them. You can't do anything. They're going to have the same CPU that's in your fucking iPhone. Seems like a weird choice.
People sell billions of them.
I don't know. It seemed like a weird thing to give up, like the ability to boot camp into Windows and everything else.
Why? Why does it seem like that? No, because
Because
they
now
want to
your-
go
your
back
Mac
to
is-
having the
your Mac is just a
exclusivity of it.
super powerful phone.
Yeah.
That's
But-
really all it
how
was.
many people actually use those features, though?
Boot
How many
camp?
people actually use a phone anymore? They
How
just-
many people
I-
use Boot Camp, man? Like,
I used to boot
Mac
camp.
users.
I used to boot camp.
Again,
Whatever you say, Dirk,
percentage
can't
of
possibly
user
be what people-
base. How many percentage of the user base was using that feature? It's going to be super low. Spoiler alert.
All right. What about people that got some high-end Mac from their work?
It's like
And then
it's
they
like
wanna
the
play
people
games
that
on it at
sued
night.
Sony for the PS3 Linux support.
Ah, yes,
Like
yeah.
that,
That was like
fraction
such
of a
small
percentage. Like, why do they care? Like,
Yeah.
it comes down to resources. We're in a pandemic. Like, do we really want to be wasting fucking resources on boot camp that 0.1% use? Like,
Okay, but then you also have to figure that all of your native Mac apps that were not written to run on an ARM CPU and were written to run on Intel, now you're either not going to work or you're going to run them under emulation.
well, given how like the whole industry is like getting away from Intel, and it makes me wonder, does this have to do with security breach problem that they have? Because like everyone seems to be like dropping out of Intel lately.
Well,
The other part of that Mac news is that like all their stuff moving forward is all their own. Like they're not
Mhm.
using Intel anymore. Like, everything's all
yeah, which is why you can run your iPhone apps on your
Right.
Mac. But do you want to? Is that ever something you wished you could do? Hit?
They say that that's better. I mean, I don't care to lose boot camp. I used it once. It's cool,
Oh, so
but like
you use Boot Camp too then? See?
I've
Once.
used it.
Okay.
Not uses it. Like it's not a lot of support.
Have you ever used
Like,
Parallels or any of those things where you run
Yeah.
a VM?
Yeah,
So
sure.
that's not going to work anymore either.
Sure. Again, used it like maybe once. Like
Okay.
it's not a big deal. Macs are designing computers. They're not gaming computers. They're not.
No.
You know, like
I know, but traditionally, because some company's buying it for you, they're willing to spend a lot of money on some high-end Mac, and if you can repurpose it to do something else on your
but
own
even
time,
then, like the most powerful Mac, and you run boot camp of it, it's still not gonna compare
It
to
boots out.
yeah,
oh,
like
to a bare metal, no, definitely not.
like it's
No,
just it's not what it's made for. Like
Yeah.
I've used it. It's cool, but it's not like just
Yeah.
not, yeah.
fair enough. I just thought it was an interesting story, and that Mac event was the big surprise I got out of it. So, next story.
Call of Duty bumps player count 200.
That's a big bump. That's double.
Yeah, I think it's an update tomorrow at 2 a.m.
Oh, so this hasn't actually dropped yet, so no one knows.
2
how
a.m.
the
At 2 a.m.
performance
is
of
their
this.
update times.
All right,
And
so
yeah, cool. Let's see.
are you guys excited for 200 player of your Warzone
Sure.
game type?
Sure.
I wonder how much more of this is just like a test. See,
Like really just see how
See
big
how
it
it
scales?
happens, yeah.
yeah.
It's a big scaling thing.
Yeah, since it says limited time mode, which they've been doing a lot of that lately. Like, even though Derek says like, oh well, no more shipment. Well, they'll bring shipment back, but they do that limited time for due reasons.
It's the Fortnite strat, right? Like you see them
make
billions of dollars.
They need that bandwidth.
Kind of want to copy them.
Well, I can see that. Do you guys remember when Battlefield finally came out with 64 player on console and people went nuts and they thought it was the greatest thing since fucking sliced bread?
Yeah.
And that then you went to 100 in these battle royale games. So now going to 200, like that's a fairly sizable attempted jump to. It's not even incremental. You're literally doubling.
You're just doubling it. It's no big deal. Come on.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah,
no big
processor
deal.
speed doubles every.
Just adding an extra number in your code, and it should be good to go.
My bandwidth stayed the same, but I doubled the player count. Like there's so many things that should go against this. So I'm actually really curious as to how this works out because this.
Are you though?
No, I am because if not for battle royales, but just for games in general, like this is think about what World of Warcraft did for so many years, where you could walk into fucking Stormwind or whatever, and it was full of like hundreds and hundreds of players because they weren't really doing anything fancy. But it seemed
anything new though.
It's new for consoles.
For consoles, for sure.
I was going to ask you what the World of Warcraft concurrent players in an instance were.
Yeah, no, this is groundbreaking for consoles.
H1Z1 was 200 player.
Not on console.
What's PUBG at?
100.
Yeah, PUBG's at 100 on console.
Yeah, everything's at 100. 100 was the new like god standard of we got 100. Yeah, like so to go to 200 is pretty insane. I know
it's a far stretch from Big Team Battle back in the old Halo 2 days or whatever.
Yeah, that's when 16 was huge.
No, hold on. What was that one game on PS3 at like 256?
Oh.
Right, like I don't.
But it wasn't like it didn't have the same kind of real time like first person shooter mechanics. It was some dumber game. I know what you're talking about. Yes, but it wasn't the same kind of shooter. It was.
What is a different shooter that had different guns?
No, it
wasn't.
It wasn't like
person?
a BR, I don't think.
No, I can't. All right, we're not going to get hung up on this, but I'm going to remember it at some point.
Sure.
Or anyone, let us know what it was. That big, I want to say it had death in the name, but I could be wrong.
I don't remember.
But all right, we got a couple more stories here. Just bang them out fast.
Please.
I'll take one. Microsoft exiting the retail store business, closing 83 locations.
Yeah, that's a bummer. That really affects the Halo scene in Toronto. We heavily relied on the Microsoft stores for tournament space.
Yeah,
it kind of sucks. That actually might end or might transition to like LAN centers. I don't know.
I saw a lot of people shitting on this, like who goes to those, but like I also saw a lot of people getting their first VR experiences when you would walk by the Microsoft store at the mall, and they had two great VR setups where they're showing people PC VR and getting people hooked in. And Grand Connect's gone now, but they used to have Connect out in the actual mall right outside the store where people were playing Connect games. And it seemed like a pretty decent setup, but they were definitely no Apple store. But yeah, I can see what you're saying. And I know some of their stores had theaters in them, and Larry's done tons of shows from various Microsoft stores around in their little theater space. So
I mean, it sucks, but this is where the industry's going. Brick and mortar is going away, and
I mean,
especially in the world of COVID.
Yeah, in the world of COVID,
especially with COVID. Like here in New York, the governor announced that malls can't open up until they get COVID removing ventilation, air conditioning systems in all the malls. I'm like, it
didn't exist.
They're killing the brick and mortar with the COVID stuff right now. And it may be right. I'm not going to argue one way or the other if it's right or wrong. But brick and mortar is really, really fucking suffering now because of the COVID.
This is the new norm, right, Selden?
Yeah, fucking new norm.
What did our other caller call it? Like I always call it the new norm too. The semi. Oh, it's Altius. The semi-normal.
Yeah. But I mean, any retail store that's going to come back after this, it's going to be a different world. It's going to be
think about when you would go in the Apple store. Selden, you would not understand this, but if you went in the Apple store to buy a product or get something,
to shit on something,
the place was so fucking packed. You would have to go talk to someone outside the door. They'd put your name in a list. They'd have you go stand at some table next to 8 billion other people that were all waiting for their genius, who really wasn't a genius. He's like some high school dropout.
Who's helping me?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Am I standing
Can I
in the
just
right
have
spot?
the phone and program it myself?
Is this the right spot?
You have to do the John Travolta.
Are you busy?
The John Travolta turn is every time in the Apple store. Like,
did you guys just all baa like sheep?
I just want to pay for this. I just want to pay for this.
Like, I literally see the thing I hear on the wall.
Money.
Yeah, I just want to buy this thing. And
like, fucking hate going there.
Yeah, no, I'd rather do everything online.
Do they put a Kool-Aid stand right there in the store for you to drink the Kool-Aid?
The only Kool-Aid is the people that are like, I need to be able to root my shit. And you've never rooted your shit. And you don't know why you want to root it, but you think because you can root it that you're better, but you're not because you don't root shit. And you don't know why you want to root shit. So step off and get yourself an Apple device. Boom, done. Next story.
Wow, that was quick.
Thanks. Woo.
Fortnite will host a Christopher Nolan movie night this Friday. I think this is freaking awesome. I might actually have to load Fortnite up and make sure.
I was thinking of doing the same.
I'm definitely gonna do it with my kid for sure. So, as I've actually been playing Fortnite with him before vacation, so he's been wanting to play Fortnite with me. So I've been playing Fortnite with him. So
I think this is great. I think this is the perfect answer to all the local communities trying to do drive-ins. They're giving everybody that's in quarantine a perfect reason to boot up Fortnite. And
so what movie is it? I see the title of the story makes it
Inception,
unclear.
Batman Begins, and Prestige.
So they're showing all 3 movies?
That's what the link of the story says.
Oh, you may get to watch Inception, Batman Begins, or The Prestige, depending on where you live.
Wow.
Oh, you're in Canada.
You're
getting the Prestige
already.
You're getting the Prestige.
I hope I get the Prestige. That was the best one of the 3.
Oh, I like Batman Begins.
Oh man, Prestige is
they're all 3 pretty
Actually,
good.
no, they're all 3 are pretty good. I also
they're all pretty
I also
good.
liked Inception.
These are top.
Let's be serious. Batman Begins is probably the worst
titles.
of the 3. Like, let's be serious.
Okay.
What?
But either way, they're AAA titles that they're putting up.
Both
for free
Inception
for
and
anybody to
Prestige
watch.
are mind jobs, man.
Yeah, they fuck with your
Yeah,
head.
like Batman Begins was good, but no mind
Without
job.
Batman Begins, we don't get to Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises. So no one cared who I was till I put on the mask. Yeah,
that was
Thank
not,
you.
That was my Yoda. That was my
Yoda.
Wow.
No, that was not your Yoda.
That was so bad. It was like a terrible Yoda Bane mix.
Yeah, what the hell?
For those of you on the live show, you got to see that. I'm sure they're recorded.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
That was terrible too. I can't do
Sean
it.
Connery? What are you?
I know.
I don't even know what you're doing anymore.
Losers won about the best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
This is how I feel about what you're doing.
That was from
right
The
now.
Rock. Yes. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yep. All right.
All right, let's end this.
We got one last story. I'll
Okay.
take it. Super Nintendo
Oh
World theme
my
park
God.
opening delayed due to COVID-19. No, the thing that makes this fucked up is because the Super Nintendo World piggybacked on Universal. If you remember when we covered this story, Universal is open. Well, open-ish, whatever they want to call their open. But
Yeah.
Super Nintendo World holding off. Smart, definitely.
I feel like you can replace every word from the word super to park and replace it with anything, and it'll
Atari.
make sense. Opening
Yeah.
delay due to that'll work.
No, but the thing is, the actual amusement park that it's in is open.
Okay.
That's what makes it weird.
They probably haven't finished construction because of
No,
COVID.
it's because they want to make sure that it has the most giant launch of any amusement park in the history of forever, and they cannot possibly do that during COVID.
Well, will they though? Even under perfect
Super
circumstances?
Nintendo.
I bet you would go.
I bet. What?
What if they had a
No, he's not going. He's not going to go.
I'd have to quarantine for 14 days before I got to go to the park.
They're
yeah.
not opening the border up to the United States in any time soon.
We're not going anywhere. We're not going to your
We're
country.
gonna let you guys all kill each other first.
Yeah. We saw we're banned from going to Europe, so that's.
I mean, I can't get my Molson Triple X.
Can't get maple syrup. You
He'll
can't
have
get
to ship it down to you.
bacon.
Oh, we're gonna have to start a underground rail.
Don't even start like you have the
products
bacon.
coming from
Come
Canada.
on.
Yeah, you don't have the bacon.
No, we
Canadian
have the
bacon? You mean
Canadian
ham?
bacon's-
You mean
Way
ham?
better.
We have
Well,
ham.
no,
better.
please.
No.
Way better.
Are
Canadian
you
bacon.
okay?
Fuck
I
off.
was with you on the maple
I'm just talking
syrup.
shit. I'm just talking
Okay,
shit.
Canadian bacon's
Look how,
gross, right?
Look how red he gets. I don't
Canadian
even think that's a
ham?
webcam.
I know
Oh.
it is webcam.
Canadian bacon's gross compared
This
to
is not blue.
Canadian bacon's awesome.
No, I like
ham.
fall food. I think Canadian bacon is really good, but it's not better than bacon.
No, it's ham. Like I like a good ham every now and then too. But if someone says bacon, I want bacon, like real bacon.
You gotta get that Canadian ham fried up nicely on the grill. Oh,
No, on the grill. Okay. All right.
All right, we're falling off.
We
the rails.
digress.
If you have stories you want us to talk about next week, call the number 773-527-9961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors, if we had them, we drop them now, but we don't, so we won't. Selden's trying to drop a fake sponsor, but they're not paying us, so we'll pretend they didn't. But if he wants to pitch them, by all means do.
No. Go.
No, he doesn't want to. And remember, if we had sponsors and you supported them, that would help support Still Got Game. But since we don't, just Venmo us or whatever and say thanks. If you want to sponsor us, you got some 773-527-9961. Email us podcast@tooltoplay.com. Again, please. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool Player at twitter.com/tooltoplay. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the internet, god of everything that's fucking holy, at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
Twitter.com, i6hitman.
And twitter.com/Seldon007.
And twitter.com/James A. Yant.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/tool-to-play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/Seldon007.
We also have a YouTube channel. That's where we put all of our archive video content, whether it's this show, whether it's Hits Quick Hits, whether it's Tiff's Immature Interviews, Selden's show. All of these things are up there on YouTube. So go there, youtube.com/tool-to-play, subscribe. You will have access to our full archive of video content. So please go there, check it out. And you will not be disappointed. I want to remind you all to please rate and review the podcast in iTunes. We need some 5-star reviews, so just drop that little $5 right there. And if you got an extra 5 seconds, write something nice, smooth, looking good. Selden, nice show. Jan, your shoulder disappears when you lean forward. Any of those comments are in Hunchback in Notre Dame and hit, always good. Just drop those on iTunes, 5 stars, write something nice. We have a Discord channel where our listeners and fans get to talk with us all day long. Sometimes some people more than others. That person is Selden. More than others is me. But if you go to tooltoplay.com/SGG Discord, that's SGG as in the Still Got Game Discord, and go there and join our Discord. You can talk to us all day long, chit chat, have fun, hang out, and bring up things you want us to talk about in the show, and we will work them into the show. So tooltoplay.com/SGG Discord. Right now, since we didn't ask earlier in the show,
We're platforming this.
We're trying to figure out where to go with this platform, because since Mixer is going away, as we talked about in the news, we have been live at mixer.com/tool-to-play, but we are looking for where you would like to watch us. Do you want to watch us on Twitch? Do you want us to go to Facebook Gaming? Do you want us to go to YouTube?
Prime.
Or some new fake service that doesn't exist yet. I am up to go anywhere. Some people here they want to go back to their familiar wells. So if you have a preference of where you'd like to see us, just let us know. I don't give a shit if we end up on Facebook. Who cares? Like, we're just going to end up where you guys want us to be. And if it takes Facebook to be like, that's the one we're like, because our audience is older gamers and all of a sudden we get fucking 8 billion views. Hey, it is what it is. So let us know where you want us to find us. But I guess next week we'll probably be back here at mixer.com/tool-to-play, because we have to tell you where we're going next. But I don't even, do we need to pimp our own Mixer channel still, guys?
No, please no.
All right. Then I will remind you before we wrap up that you can join us each and every Monday night for the time being at mixer.com/tool-to-play, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And on that, why don't we wrap this Mixer wind down show up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Roger Hitman Roken.
I am Chris Selden, 007 Selden.
I'm James Yont Dog Yont.
Woof.
Woof, woof.
You forgot your woof.
I couldn't do it because you were
Because I got
your
so
intensity.
aggro.
Your
I just
intensity
thought-
was insane.
I don't know what happened. I was like, I just want to make this so extreme.
You freaked Hit out. Hit was like, I don't even know how to say my name anymore.
I took that level up. Like even Hulk Hogan was like, whoa. Yeah. Hit made a face there too. Yeah.